Let us welcome the eighth speaker. The eighth speaker is Mr.Yuya Kubota.
His speech title is The Bouquet Inside. The Bouquet Inside. So, Mr. Kubota, please come up to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. and Ms. Contest Chair, distinguished judges, fellow friends. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, I'm not going to drink on the stage. So, what would you imagine if you heard someone say, this man's life was changed by alcohol? I'm sure imagine failure or something negative like that. However, I can truly say that my own life was changed in a positive way, thanks to alcohol, especially wine. So let me share my story about it. One day, I was drinking wine with a friend who is a sommelier. I took the glass and gulped the wine down. He looked surprised and said, "Oh my goodness, you're drinking wine like water. You can't appreciate the taste like that." "Yes, I can," I replied. "It's so tasty." "Why did you feel tasty?" he asked me. You know what? There's a hidden bouquet inside the glass of wine. That's what you should aim to enjoy. He told me that the bouquet is wine's aroma produced as it matures. There are layers of aromas in good wine, just as there are in the bouquet of flowers. So, he told me to pick up the glass again and said, swirl the glass gently, enjoy the smell of the wine, and drink slowly. Try to find the wine's aroma using your tongue and nose. And then I noticed, I can sense the sweet smell of strawberries. Exactly, good. That's one part of the bouquet for this wine. And if you study more and more about wine, then you begin to notice a lot more. He also said, wine is all different according to the place produced, the species of grapes, and how it matured. So, not just saying tasty, you have to think about why you felt so. After this event, I became interested in wine, and I always try to verbalize why I felt tasty about it. And the more I tasted wine, the more often I had a hangover. Just joking. I came to enjoy knowing about things I didn't know before, and that's why I'm now studying to get a qualification as a wine expert. And not only that, I'm now into cooking, as I want to enjoy the marriage of food and wine. Thanks to wine, I learned about the importance of finding something precious, just like the bouquet of flowers, beneath the surface of something else that hides it. I felt that I can even extend this idea to how I see others too. So, please look at a person next to you. Don't be shy. Behind the person's appearance, there are layers of time in which he or she has grown up. We don't immediately see those layers. We usually just see a part of a person. But by having an interest in them and talking to them, we can get a glimpse of their real personality and life, and that, in turn, can teach us something about our lives. I try to think about the backgrounds of those who have different opinions from mine. So I went to see my boss, who often scolds me at work, and I found a bouquet inside him, his enthusiasm for guiding his staffs. I found out that when he was young, he had a boss who often left him alone, so he wanted to be a different type of leader. And that discovery made me trust him more than before. Furthermore, last year I got married. Thank you. Actually, my wife is sitting over there today. But I knew that there were still things I didn't know about my wife. She said that she didn't want to quit her job after having a child. And that was because she was educated in a girls' school and saw her teachers working actively after becoming mothers. And that made me think more about taking paternity leave, which I had been thinking deeply till then. By deepening our understandings, my wife and I were able to make our relationship much closer. So, the first step, and the most important step, is to pay attention to the backgrounds of something or someone, which will surely help us to find that inner bouquet. There are so many things that we overlook unconsciously. As for things we don't like, we tend to reject them and not to think any more of them. And even for things we like, it takes time and energy to get to know something properly. However, don't you feel like we're missing so many bouquets? Or maybe I could say, aren't we missing so many hidden opportunities to encounter something that could change our lives? Well, by the way, I'm not here to advertise wine, and those of you in the audience who are still under 20, remember, not yet. But I do want to tell you that everything has a bouquet inside. You can start finding that in your hobby. You can start finding that while talking with your family and friends. And maybe you can have new interests in other things around you. This is not only about our lives, but it can also be a trigger to change our society. It's connecting the dots, as Steve Jobs once said. It's a lifelong journey, but we have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in our future. Ladies and gentlemen, now I love speech activities. I love drinking wine. And especially, I love my wife. I have found wonderful bouquets inside all of them, and they have all changed my life. I'm still only 26, so I'm sure that I will keep on coming across new things and finding out about their bouquets. And at the same time, I'm excited about how I myself will mature and offer my own value, my own bouquet to others. Ladies and gentlemen, life-changing opportunities are hidden everywhere. So let's always be on the lookout for wonderful bouquets all around us. Cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota. Now we have a question and answer session. Mr. Tamura, please.
All right, Yuya-san. Thank you so much for a wonderful story.
Nice to see you again, Tamura-san.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I think it's is this your fifth time to
Yes,
compete
fifth
for
time.
Todai Cup?
Yes.
Great, great. What drives you to come back to this stage so
Well,
over and over again?
It's simply because I found a bouquet inside speech activity. And in my personal opinion, it's about self-reflection. As you can see in my speech, I look back at my life, pick up some experiences, pick up some lessons that I can share with the audience. And I think that is some kind of joy for me. And actually, that is a bouquet. And can I say a little bit more? Sure. Yeah. And actually, this is not only about speech activity. I'm just using it to this habit to my life, too. I became more conscious about the feelings and the experience which I've been overlooking. Like, I always ask myself, why did I feel angry at that time? Why did I feel joy at that time? And I try to think about that and I share with my wife to build a happy family relationship. That's what I'm doing.
So today's your theme is the bouquet inside, and
Yeah.
I totally agree that everybody has bouquet inside. But the challenge is that it takes so much time to find and so much time to reach to the core of the things. And sometimes a lot of people would give up before reaching to the core. So would you like to give us some advice of, how to be tenacious, how we can effectively reach to the core? How can we find the bouquet inside?
Okay, there will be 2 steps, I would say. Number 1 is questioning. Number 2 is describing. So let's just take my speech, for example. I think that throughout my speech, I think you felt some kind of impression. Maybe good, maybe bad. I hope it is all good, but anyway. And as a first step, I want you to question that. Why did I feel good about Yuya Kubota's speech? Maybe it is because blah, 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 things like that. And as a second step, I want you to describe that. Like, his speech was good because the structure was well written or things like that. I hope you're writing that, like that in a judging sheet, but anyway. An extremely important thing is to describe, because impression is just a feeling. We feel it just by our heart. But when we try to describe what we feel, we use our mind, we use our brain. So by using these 2 steps, questioning and describing, we can use both our heart and our mind. So maybe that could help you to find the bouquet of something, the essence of the thing, which we cannot see on the surface.
Great. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. Let's open this at the reception. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota and Mr. Tamura. Please go back to your seats.